Welcome back. I'm Kelsey Fabian. Kelly Bowlin from the Bay Athletic Club joins me this morning. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Kelsey.
Well, Thanksgiving is next week.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. It's my favorite holiday.
I know. I'm excited for it, too. And you are going to tell us how to cut calories in some of our Thanksgiving favorites.
Yeah, I'm sure your family is like mine, where we have the ubiquitous family favorites, and sometimes they might not be as healthy as they could be. So I'd like to share some tips on maybe how to lighten up your meals. Even if you can't change the menu, it's always possible to lighten things up.
All right, go for it. What's number one?
I would say if you have the opportunity to bring something light or just lighten it up, great. You know, start with a healthy salad or a vegetable soup, but you know, you can't really get rid of mashed potatoes, can you? No.
That's a tradition.
It definitely is.
What's Thanksgiving without mashed potatoes?
Exactly. So I know from going to other Thanksgivings, some people think that the biggest part about mashed potatoes is butter and cream and whatever else I'm sure they can think of, Parmesan cheese, but you don't need all those things. You know, people might ask, well, what are mashed potatoes without butter and cream? And I would say, mashed potatoes. So you don't need anything else. If you did want to add some flavor, you can certainly do that. Maybe instead of using butter and cream, try using buttermilk to whip them. That's going to give you a little bit of that hint of sour creaminess without adding a lot of fat and calories. So try to lighten those up. It's going to be a big calorie saver. You don't need a ton of butter and cream for mashed potatoes.
All right, perfect. So number two?
Definitely, to lighten up your bird. You can have a flavorful, delicious turkey without having a bunch of oil or butter to give it flavor. Try just adding a bunch of fresh herbs like rosemary, sage, thyme, and to have the moisture content, so you don't want a dry turkey, have maybe some lemons or onions, and you can stuff the cavity or arrange it around the turkey. It's going to give it so much flavor without adding any fat, salt, or extra calories.
Oh, that's a great tip.
Yeah,
and that does sound like it'd be very flavorful.
It would be very good.
And number three?
It would be to start your meal off with something healthy. I mentioned it before, but you know, a vegetable soup before you start and you sit down to this big feast, it's going to help fill you up with really good for you vegetables. If you make it yourself, it's super easy to do. A pureed vegetable soup, just roasted root vegetables, sweet potato, butternut squash, turnips, parsnips, carrots, whatever you have, whatever is maybe in season at your farmer's market would be a great thing. Just pop it in the oven after you've chopped them and roast it at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. Put it in the blender, add a little chicken stock, boom, you're done. You have a really healthful, easy vegetable soup that if you start your meal off, I know that you'll consume less calories. And you know, the holiday feast is definitely calorie filled. So maybe if you filled up on some healthy vegetables, it would be a lot better for you in the end. There's always room for the sandwich after the meal, right?
Very true. And for dessert, people head to the dessert table. What would be their best option?
I would say if you just wanted to do one pie, pumpkin pie would be my recommendation. It's not made.
Don't sample all of the pies.
Don't sample all of them. You know, if there is one of your favorites and there's no way to lighten it up, that's fine. You know, consider in the rest of your meal how you can save calories for that particular piece. But if you just wanted to do one dessert, I would recommend the pumpkin pie. It's not made with a lot of extra fat, just a couple of eggs, a little bit of sugar, and you can probably lighten up that recipe with less sugar in the end. As far as pie crust goes, if you wanted to substitute it, having not your traditional pie crust, but maybe like a graham cracker crust, that would be not a perfect dessert, but a better one. And there's also, if you Google it, there's a lot of great recipes for cheesecake made with Greek yogurt.
Oh, okay.
So that I've made it before in years past, and it's quite good. So
all right.
Well, I don't miss the cream cheese.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for giving us those healthy Thanksgiving tips.